Your voice, your vote, your home for election coverage. ABC15 Mornings starts now.
Right now at 6, your voice, your vote, and now your results.
So many of the big races in Arizona's election tightening while you were sleeping, with the ballot counting picking back up here in Maricopa County in 1 hour from now.
This morning we have team coverage across the valley, bringing you the latest numbers and messages from the candidates. We want to start with ABC15's Nohelani Graff, who's outside the Maricopa County Elections Department. And Nohe, we saw election officials send in new results even into the overnight hours. You've covered so many of these elections here. What are you hearing about when they're going to start counting again?
So as you guys have been mentioning, in 1 hour, that's when the process will pick back up, Nick. But you can watch all night long if you want to. They live stream pictures so that you can see inside and be sure that nobody's in there, nobody is counting right now. So that will all start again in about an hour. We do know that about 1.7 million votes have already been counted across the state in this election. Now, if you were at certain polls yesterday, or even if you were just following along on social media, then you know that things did not go as smoothly as election officials had hoped. At 60 of the 223 voter centers here in Maricopa County, there were tabulations issues. Some of the machines were rejecting ballots, all because of printer problems. However, we want to stress that both the county recorder and the Board of Supervisors promise that every vote is getting counted. No one was turned away, they say. Now, obviously, since 2020, there have been plenty of complaints and unfounded claims of voter fraud. In fact, last night, while not quite going that far, Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake did question the issues.
When we win, first line of action is to restore honesty to Arizona elections.
We will declare victory, and we will get to work turning this around. No more incompetency and no more corruption in Arizona elections.
Now, on the other side, Secretary of State candidate Adrian Fontes also addressed the issues. You'll remember he was the former Maricopa County recorder.
Now, we've seen a few of the numbers coming out, and we feel pretty good about where we're at right now. We feel pretty good. That having been said, we will, with level heads and respect, we will respect the process. We will make sure every vote gets counted across this great state of Arizona.
We are told that about 250,000 people voted in Maricopa County. At this 6 a.m. hour, outside of the tabulation center, we still have sheriff's deputies positioned for security purposes. We have layers of security gates before you can even get to the main doors. But Kaylee and Nick, we will take you inside within that 7 and 8 o'clock hour as the tabulation process does pick back up again. And it is our understanding that part of what we'll see happening in there is any of those ballots that had to go into that slot number 3 when there were printer problems. Those are the ones that will be counted today. And then they also start the verification process on signatures for anybody who turned in their mail-in ballots on Election Day.
All right, so many details to get through. Thank you for staying on top of this for us. No, hey, we do appreciate that.
Now to a race that we know is making a lot of headlines across the country this morning. This is the race for U.S. Senate right now. Democrat and incumbent Senator Mark Kelly holding a lead right now over Republican challenger Blake Masters. Mark Kelly right now is up by about 107,000 votes. It's a comfortable lead, but of course, everyone is still in the race here.
And another Arizona race so many people are watching across the nation, that will be the race for governor here in Arizona. Right now, as we show you these numbers, with 63% of precincts reporting, Katie Hobbs has 51% of the vote, 49% for Kari Lake. Our Amelia Fabiano is tracking the latest from this particular race here in Arizona. And Amelia, we did hear from both gubernatorial candidates last night.
We did, yeah, and Katie Hobbs holding on to that razor-thin lead this morning, as you said, just over 30,000 votes as of right now. Of course, that'll change as more votes get counted once they start that process back up again, like we know in Maricopa County within the next hour or so. Last night here at the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Phoenix, she did address her party's crowd here with, let's say, cautious optimism. She did thank everyone for, of course, their support throughout the campaign process, throughout Election Day. And she said she knows everyone is, of course, very eager to find out who won each race, but that it's important to remain patient. She said she also feels it's unacceptable her opponent, Kari Lake, sowed doubt and spread misinformation about corruption on Election Day. She acknowledged while they're feeling good about the Democratic numbers so far, nothing is final yet. This is far from over. That's a stark contrast from her opponent. Kari Lake confident she will pull through with a win.
We will not stop fighting until we have every legal vote counted. So we're going to be patient. We're going to be patient, guys. We're going to wait. Right now, I told you the votes that are coming in are going our way.
I have every confidence that the counties administering this election conducted a free and fair election, and their results will be accurate. But they will take time. So prepare for a long evening and a few more days of counting.
Yeah, a lot could change with these numbers in the coming hours, coming days, something we will be watching very, very closely. Of course, Nick and Kaylee, this race far from over.
All right, we do want to turn to Nick. Amelia, thank you. He joins us now from our real-time results board, tracking these results county by county. Nick, people are watching this very closely, so run us through what's happening.
Yeah, and of course, we have to mention again, we're still waiting for all the numbers to come in. But so far for the race for governor right now, Katie Hobbs does have a lead of about 30,000 votes over Republican Kari Lake. Again, still waiting for all the votes to be counted. Still likely several 100,000 left. But let's go county by county if we can. Of course, Maricopa County, Katie Hobbs right now is ahead by about 42,000 votes. A comfortable lead, but Kari Lake, of course, can still come back in Maricopa County. Coconino County, so this is reliably Democratic. Katie Hobbs is ahead by about 10,000 votes. But let's go to Mojave County in western Arizona. This is Kingman, so this is reliably Republican. Kari Lake, we see ahead by about 34,000 votes. One county I think we need to watch, though, is Pinal County. Right now, Katie Hobbs is leading here by, you see, just about 300 votes, a very, very small margin. This county tends to sway Republican, so as more results come in, we do expect that county to flip and Kari Lake to take a lead there in Pinal County. Of course, we just have to wait and see what happens with all the counties. If we can, I want to go to some of our other races right now. If we talk about what's happening in the U.S. Senate, for instance, let's talk about Mark Kelly and Blake Masters here. So for this one, Mark Kelly is ahead in Pinal County, it looks like by about 4,000 votes or so. But if we zoom out, take the totals statewide, he's ahead by about 106,000 votes. It's definitely a more comfortable lead than what Katie Hobbs has at the moment. Still anyone's race, though. You can't count Blake Masters out yet because we still have that many votes yet where you cannot call this race. If we go county by county, though, you see Mark Kelly, of course, performing well in Flagstaff, Coconino County, Pima County. Those are the Democratic strongholds across Arizona. But if we go to some other counties like Cochise County, which leans Republican, Yuma County, which leans Republican, Mojave County as well, we do see Blake Masters picking up some more votes, day of votes there, too, which we know could make a key difference. So I'm going to continue watching the real-time results board. As the minutes go on, we're getting updated numbers from the Secretary of State's office. These numbers actually just updated before the 6 o'clock newscast. So, you know, we have our eyes glued to that website and our real-time results board to make sure you're getting the latest numbers.
Yes, and we will certainly be watching closely right here along with you, Nick. You can find the latest results on ABC15.com and on our free ABC15 mobile app. These numbers are also updating there at the bottom of your screen. Your voice, your vote, and our coverage, I should say, picks back up here in just 3 minutes. Our national political correspondent joins us live from our nation's capital to talk more about the big races here in Arizona and how these results could impact our nation's capital.
Let's talk now about that most accurate forecast here as we track a storm system that is on the way. It's going to send a cold front in too. We've got it moving through California. That cold front will be working its way in throughout the day. Get ready for stronger winds. Already we're feeling them in parts of our state, and rain and snow chances that will be going up. Now, so far, what you're seeing on Desert Doppler radar with me here in the valley are just some clouds, and you got to look really closely, but you see a few of those clouds starting to work their way in to that western pocket of the valley. Those clouds are starting to stream in. You'll notice into spots like Glendale, but so far no rain. And I think we're going to stay dry for the next hour or two before those rain chances gradually increase here in the Phoenix area. Now, not dry in northwest Arizona. I've been tracking some rain showers really overnight into early this morning near Seligman. Also, the areas in the blue, that's some light snow. And you're seeing some showers, potentially some embedded thunderstorms too, right near Kingman here as we wake up to more active weather conditions in those areas. Eventually, that rain and that snow sweeps from west to east across our state. And that means that rain and the snow will be moving into the valley. The snow, of course, up north the valley will stay rain. No snow here. But again, it's as this cold front is coming through. And the bulk of the action will be right along that cold front. So that means that as the core of the storm mainly passes to our north, we're essentially going to see most of the action right along the front. Once that front's out of here, the rain and the snow will go with it too. So this is going to come through today. And then by this evening into tonight, we're already drying things out. So as we talk timing, as you head out the door, maybe grab that umbrella or maybe pack your lunch so you don't have to venture out just as the rain is starting to move in, because I do think that that rain potential goes up by midday. All in all, though, it looks very light. So maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but generally light showers here in the valley with, you can see by about 11 a.m. that shower activity starting to pick up in the Phoenix area, just as we start to see that change over to snow in spots across the Grand Canyon. Then through the afternoon, some light snow in the high country and light rain showers here in the valley, but by 7 p.m. the bulk of the action is already shifting east. We'll still be tracking some snow in northeast Arizona by 7 o'clock this evening. Some rain showers out in spots near Heber and Show Low. Some light snow in spots like Show Low too in that higher terrain. But then that snow and the rain will be out of here overnight and will be dry by early tomorrow morning. Now that said, we will see accumulating snow. Those areas in the purple under winter weather advisories today. We could pick up 1 to 3 inches of snow in spots like Flagstaff, Williams, and at the Grand Canyon. But the North Rim and spots like Jacob Lake likely ending up with the highest amounts of snow. Rainfall looks light too, still anticipating a trace to maybe around 1/10 to just a little bit more of an inch here in the valley. Not a whole lot of rain with this, but light showers will be possible. The other thing, winds will be a factor. They're already strong in northern Arizona, and we've got wind advisories across that entire northern half of our state through the day today. Gusts as high as 55 miles an hour. Breezy and cooler in the valley with highs in the 60s. Then as we dry out, we're still in the 60s tomorrow. The 70s are back Friday.
Well, after months of campaigning, hundreds of candidates, and a ton of money spent, where does the balance of power lie in Congress?
That's a big question, so we're joined live by our national political correspondent, Joe St. George. Joe, let's begin with the House. So many of these races remain undecided this morning, including races right here in Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, guys. And we should be very clear. This was not the morning that Republicans nationally wanted to wake up to. For some perspective, Republican leader Kevin McCarthy, who's hoping to become the next Speaker of the House, he very well still could become the next Speaker of the House. He was planning on having a big celebration in a D.C. ballroom last night, declaring victory. That speech didn't happen because no one's projected control of the House of Representatives. Now, Republicans are still favored, but this massive red wave simply just didn't sweep the country in some of these swing House districts, particularly on the East Coast, in New York, in New England, that a lot of political pundits and pollsters thought might. What that says is going to be dissected in American politics for months and years to come, but certainly not that massive red wave that Nick, you and I have spoken about was a possibility for so many weeks.
Well, Joe, I want to talk about this here. There were 35 Senate seats up for grabs, 21 currently to Republicans, 14 to Democrats. Republicans need a net gain here. Is this all going to come down to Georgia? There's a lot of talk about this.
A lot of talk about 50% plus one, right? So for folks that are having their coffee and eggs with us and they're scrolling the results, when it comes to Georgia, remember, the winning candidate has to have 50% plus one of the vote, or or we have a runoff election, and that date has already been set for December 6th. The reason why Democrats are feeling pretty good this morning is because they were able to flip Pennsylvania, and that's a pickup for them, and that gives them flexibility to lose a state somewhere on the map and still maintain control of the United States Senate. But let's just break down this hypothetical. If for some reason Nevada flips sometime today, Republicans are able to win that seat, and Pennsylvania, of course, has stayed in the Democratic column, and Georgia doesn't get to that 50% plus one number, it'll all come down to this runoff in Georgia. So you're absolutely right. All eyes will certainly be on the Peach State.
And sticking with the Senate right now, Joe, Republicans are hoping for a possible shift here in Arizona when it came to our Senate seat. Right now, incumbent Democrat Mark Kelly, though, he's up by about 107,000 votes. I just checked the Secretary of State's website. Still a lot more votes to be counted. So the math is still there for Blake Masters, but Republicans I've spoken to overnight not feeling as confident right now.
They're not feeling as confident because, again, that red wave. They felt as if something could crest across the country, Blake Masters would certainly be lifted up and perhaps carried into office here. But what I think we saw is that a lot of cases from coast to coast, state to state, voters voted with the individual candidate, and they looked and said, okay, this I may not like what I'm seeing with the economy, but that's clearly something that has emerged. Remember, all of the polls are pretty clear that the economy and inflation was issue number 1 and 2 for voters, but they're clearly not placing blame on the Democrats completely, or we would have seen completely different results. I will say this, guys, if for some reason the House of Representatives is able to flip Republican sometime over the course of today or the next couple days, it's still going to usher in new political debates in this country over everything from the border to the IRS. It's going to be a very different political environment for President Biden going forward.
Well, we can't let you go without talking about this highly watched race for governor here in the state of Arizona. How closely is the nation paying attention to Kari Lake and Katie Hobbs?
Absolutely, because a lot of people have viewed Kari Lake as a potential rising star nationally. And if she is able to pull this off, a lot of people would say, oh my, she could be on the short list for vice president one day. A defeat would obviously be a major blow to her political future in Arizona and elsewhere. I also think that a lot of people are keeping an eye on this phrase election deniers, right? And people who've spoken critically of the 2020 election and the impact that may have had on the final vote. Just one of the many things we are watching. Obviously, it's close in Arizona, but the big takeaway, again, for people waking up, just wanted to know what's ultimately happening. Yes, Republicans could still take back the House, but Democrats could very well maintain control of the United States Senate. That massive red wave, it just didn't crest, and I don't see it cresting anytime soon.
Yeah, so definitely we're seeing some wins really for both sides this morning. Our Joe St. George breaking down the latest from Washington. As we know, all eyes are on Arizona as well.
It is a day Brittany Griner's family has been dreading. She is being moved from where she was being held in Russia. I'll tell you where she is headed to next. Still ahead.
I actually, growing up, would drive out to a spot and write songs, watching the sunset by myself all the time.
So tonight on ABC 15 News at 6, Beyond the Mountains of Flagstaff, hear one Arizona native's journey to becoming a rising star in country music. Some brand new developments coming into the ABC 15 newsroom about Phoenix Mercury star Brittany Griner.
Griner currently serving prison time in Russia after a court rejected her appeal, and we've learned she's been moved from a Russian prison to what's known as a penal colony or prison camp.
We do want to bring in ABC 15's Jamie Warren sharing more about this transfer and, of course, response from the White House this morning.
Kaylee and Nick, support for Griner remains strong here in downtown Phoenix outside of the Footprint Center. You see the sign that's been hanging here for almost a year now saying we are BG42, and even inside of the arena when the Phoenix Suns play, you will see her name on the court. And this support right now is needed for her family more than ever. As we have learned, Griner is being transferred from a pre-trial detention facility to a Russian penal colony. Now, this is a move that her family has dreaded since she was convicted back in August. It's where she's going to serve the remainder of her 9-year drug smuggling sentence. The Phoenix Mercury star, who played basketball in Russia during the offseason, was arrested in a Moscow airport in February after authorities found vape cartridges in her luggage. Russian penal colonies are known for their harsh conditions, lack of hygiene, access to medical care, with inmates often subjected to manual labor. The White House releasing this statement overnight, saying in part that they continue to ask Russian officials to improve her treatment and the conditions that she may be forced to endure, adding, despite a lack of good faith negotiation by Russians, the U.S. government has continued to follow up on that offer and propose alternative potential ways forward. As for exactly where Griner is at this time and her condition as of this morning, that is still not known. Representatives for her team telling us that they will be notified, however, once she reaches her final destination. Kaylee and Nick.
Yeah, still so many questions. She was detained back on February 17th, so next week it's going to be 9 months that she's been held in Russia. Our Jamie Warren reporting live for us from downtown Phoenix.
Up next here at 6:30, your voice, your vote. Our election coverage continues with several races here in Arizona getting tighter while you were sleeping. And we have the latest numbers.
I'm Nohelani Graf, live at Maricopa County elections. I'll let you know the next step in the ballot counting process, what happened after all of those voting machine issues yesterday, and also what was done overnight to make sure that your ballot does get counted.
A cold front's on the way, and it's bringing rain chances and much cooler temperatures, too. Temperatures will be in the 60s for highs. That's it. And you can see the rain chances peaking by midday. I'm going to break down that super 7-day forecast in the next half hour.